if Biden was invited to speak about a particular BLM riot and Biden would have ever uttered the words Antifa, stand back and stand by, like Donald Trump said for Proud Boys, stand back and stand by, I think that the conservative sphere of media would have erupted in anger.
What's going on, you guys? Today we have David Pakman and Destiny versus Dennis Prager. They are doing everything they can to get through Dennis Prager's MAGA delusion, but it appears that Dennis Prager is pretty stuck in his ways. He is pretty much boomerfied forever. We have David Pakman and Destiny doing everything they can for Dennis Prager. Let's get into it.
Really is the guy that gives nicknames, divisive nicknames or derogatory nicknames to his political opponents. Sleepy Joe Biden, crooked Hillary. What did he say about Ted Cruz's dad might have been the Zodiac? Like he just says so many out of pocket things that, and then it's another world. I don't know if like conservatives listening actually believe this, but when people say things like, "Oh yeah, Joe Biden is so unbelievably divisive," really, Joe Biden, the guy that gets on stage and that we've seen like has trouble stringing together sentences. This is the insanely divisive president of fiery rhetoric. When he gets on
So,
stage and he's like, MAGA Americans, and when I say MAGA, I don't mean everybody. I just mean the ones that deny the election, right? This is the guy that's insanely divisive. But when Trump says things like, well, there was the Second Amendment, they're coming for that, and we can't do anything about it. Well, maybe the Second Amendment people, can, and everybody laughs. But when Joe Biden in a private meeting to donors says we need to put a bullseye on Donald Trump, like that's violent rhetoric. Give me a break. That's just
Well,
it's a
what
deeply
about that,
unserious
Dennis?
opinion.
I mean, what you mentioned the reference to white nationalism or white supremacy in Joe Biden's inauguration speech, but what else has Joe Biden done, in your view, to incite violence?
I didn't say he incited violence. I thought the issue was divisiveness. Who is more responsible for divisive? Also, Donald Trump.
So right here we have Destiny making a great point for Dennis Prager as far as, what has Joe Biden done to be divisive? It seems like the right is doing everything they can to want to rub off on the left and want to say, hey, it is us against you. No matter how much the left is wanting to sort of bring everyone together, wanting to like really bring everyone as a collective, the right is still wanting to say, no, we're the ones who are doing we're doing the correct thing. You guys are the ones that are full of hate. You guys are full of hate. And it's like, I don't know if that's how it works, but let's see how David Pakman and Dennis Prager go on.
Trump is one man. Calling people Sleepy Joe or Little Marco is not in the same moral ballpark as calling people Nazis and depicting your opponent as New Republic in its last issue painted Donald Trump as Hitler. The staggering amount of lies. It's the whole left world. Donald Trump is one man. The whole left is filled with hate. The lie that Donald Trump said that they were fine people who were Nazis in Charlottesville. Even Snopes, which is left of center, in its fact checking said it was false that he ever said that the Nazis in Charlottesville were fine people. He wasn't referring to them. The New York Times continues that lie to today. Joe Biden said that's the reason he ran for president, because of that horrific statement.
Like and subscribe for more, you guys, if you like this content.
The lying from the left and lying of smearing. This is not just Donald Trump. This is not just Joe Biden. The left smears. That's what they do. When I spoke at Arizona State University a year and a half ago, 34 professors of the 42 at the college that I spoke to at Arizona State said people should not attend because I am a bigot and a homophobe and an Islamophobe and a racist and a this. That's all they do. I invited all of them onto my radio show. Any one of you 34, all 34 can come on my radio show. Not one accepted the invitation. Did one invite me into their classroom? Of course not. So constantly referring to Donald Trump. Donald Trump is nothing compared to the whole world, from the New York Times to Joe Biden. The world of the left is a world filled with smearing hate.
Stephen, let me give you the last word on this before we move on.
Yeah, I mean, if Biden was invited to speak about a particular BLM riot and Biden would have ever uttered the words Antifa, stand back and stand by, like Donald Trump said for Proud Boys, stand back and stand by, I think that the conservative sphere of media would have erupted in anger. If you want to talk about like who's more divisive or not,
and that's where I was going to come in and say that, yes, we have, Donald Trump for sure being called Hitler or being called these different things that, may sound like they are hateful rhetoric, may sound like it's throwing dirt on somebody, and it may sound like that to someone who is completely MAGA-fried, boomer-fried as well. But look for a moment and see the resemblances in character. Whether you want to paint either one as good or bad, right? Let's just find the parallels in character. And I think that in the past it's said that Trump even had one of Hitler's writings next to him. He decided to have something in the Madison Square Garden and wear some colors that were, the Proud Boy colors. He's doing little things and little nods. And it's not sneaky, it's not good or it's bad, but it is there. So I think that it has to be said. And if you're like, oh, well, what do you mean? That doesn't line up. That doesn't, it's like, okay, well, then you don't want to see it. Then you have been boomified and you are MAGA-fried, as I like to say. But yeah.
You just need look no further than the legislation passed in Congress. President Trump ran for how long on repeal and replace the ACA? He wasn't able to replace it. He ran for how long on infrastructure? Biden was the one that passed that bill. Donald Trump didn't. And in terms of Donald Trump just being one man, Donald Trump is not just one man. Donald Trump is the entirety of the conservative party right now. And if you're a conservative politician or if you're in conservative media, you absolutely know that because you either toe his line or you are destroyed.
I want to talk a little bit about what's happening now with the presidential race, which has been upended by Joe Biden deciding that he is not going to seek re-election. Dennis, I know from listening to you.
There you have it, you guys. You have Dennis Prager saying that the left is full of hate, so divisive, wanting to cause all of these different things to go on in America, wanting to cause this uproar and people that are just like hating each other and not wanting to come together, when it's clear that the left is nothing but the opposite of that. That anything that he's drawing his points and conclusions from is Destiny and David Pakman are saying that it is just parallels. Look at the parallels. Did Hitler have a group of people that he could tell to either stand down or to come up? And, did Hitler have people that were willing to commit treason against the government and commit treason against the country to get what they considered truth? I believe he did, and I believe that you could draw that parallel to Trump, and I believe that David Pakman and Destiny are saying the same thing. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. It's another day in the progressive way.